I've always been the girl looking out of the window, and I was born to people who always let me be that girl. My father was referred as the many-splendored man, and he gave me a very experience-rich childhood. From visits to Gram Panchayat to the United Nations, from corporates to making us sell vegetables on the roads, he made us do it all. And that shaped me into a person who started looking at the world from different perspectives. I was 14 years old when I lost my dad. And 2 days before that, I was upset over something and I was crying in my room. He walked in, asked me to pack my bags and told me we are flying out. I got curious. I asked why. He said to find you happiness. I asked how. So he said something that every girl dreams of hearing. He said, I'm taking you on a day-long, no-limit shopping trip. Just you and I. Now I'm telling you this because that trip felt like it was meant to be. That flight turned out to be the flight of my life, figuratively and literally. So I was sitting in the flight and I was looking out of the window. And that is when I spotted an ant. And it suddenly struck to me that my father lovingly called me Mungi. Mungi is what you call an ant in Marathi. And I had never asked him why. That was the first time I asked. He looked at me, he smiled, and he said, because ants always know how to find their way. You blow them off, you dust them off, but they'll reappear like magic. Ants are capable of climbing any hill, and they can make one. And the best part is, ants never do it alone. They have the strongest sense of building communities. He said, I feel you're like that and you're meant to do great things in life. To which I casually said, no, but I don't know what I want to do with my life because there are too many things that I like to do. A part of me wants to paint, a part of me wants to write, wants to make films, wants to travel, wants to help people. He again looked at me and he said, I never told you you have to be just one thing in life. That would mean killing so many interesting parts of what makes you you. You can be anything, you can do everything. He said, see, in life, just try and give maximum happiness to maximum number of people. Try incorporating everything you love while doing that. Now you just have to find a way to do it extraordinarily. That moment was my life's first moment of inspiration. That moment was the moment when I realized that there was something more for me to become. 2 days after that, I lost my dad. And my world had turned around. And I was cruising through all these ups and downs, but I was a different person. More compassionate, more responsible. But at the same time, an equally confused teenager who had no idea what she wants to do with her life. But 2 things from that conversation really stayed with me. That line, maximum happiness to maximum number of people. Something that had given me my purpose. And the word extraordinary. I found that word to be extremely powerful, so I tried to redefine it for myself. I believe that if you can see beauty in the ordinary, when even the ordinary doesn't know that it can be beautiful, and you do something to bring that beauty into the notice of the world, you become that extra for that ordinary. I wanted to become that extra. So all this while I had my mind around this idea of how I can start making the most positive impact on as many lives as possible. I was contemplating starting something that was bigger than myself. But then when you're young, you're told time and time again to wait. Wait till you finish your education, wait till you have more money, wait till you have more power, wait to change the world. But I did not want to wait. I wanted to make more of my generation realize that our time is now and the world has never been more in need for you to go out there and make it better. I'd hit that little magic pocket of inspiration. So at that particular point of time in my life, I became sure of 2 things. Starting a for-purpose organization and no engineering. So I started a foundation in memory of my father, and we started building a youth-led entity under it called Zero Gravity with an incredible set of people who believed in the simple idea of creating a platform for young change makers who could use their genius on projects of social good. We had a very humble beginning. We were doing with whatever little we could to impact wherever we can. And to my own surprise, I ended up in an engineering college. Something I was so sure I would not pursue, I had still become a part of the rat race. I remember I was writing my final exam of my first year, and I happened to look out of the window. And there was a laborer who was walking his daughter to school, and they were holding all her stuff in his hand. And they were looking for a plastic bag. They found one, he put everything inside it, they went ahead, but something inside me had shifted. You know, there are certain moments in your life when you know that everything after this will change. This was one such unique moment where I was about to make a decision that was going to change everything for me. I could feel it in my bones. So I dropped out. So the daughter of the man rated as the most educated person in the country had just dropped out. And everyone started looking at me like a failure. They thought I was crazy. My professors told me that, you know, you're too young and organizations like these don't last, they fade out. But I have a mother who saw the flight in me and an incredible set of co-believers. I stand here today with 3 degrees to my name. Our organization is turning 10 years old, and I'm talking about the impact of its ideas in a TEDx talk. This time really taught me to go with things that align with your bigger picture. It taught me to never give up in that little potential, that little belief you have in your own potential. I'm a huge believer in human potential, and I find inspiration in people and their moments. I find inspiration in Devki's wrinkles that talk about her struggles. I find inspiration in the way a father pedals 12 kilometers so that his son can go to school. I find inspiration in the way people are still walking tall and strong in the face of adversity. And I find inspiration in Anandi's eyes. The way her eyes light up when she talks about how she wants to ride a pink-colored aeroplane when she grows up. Children, I find them the most inspiring. And unfortunately today in our country, close to 70% children are studying in such government schools. And millions of children are living in such shelters. And if we are heading towards becoming the youngest country in the world, and this is the generation that we would be betting on, are we really nurturing them the way we are supposed to? We are not. We are failing. We are failing as a society, we are failing as a system, and we cannot wait for the system to fix itself. We have to start caring more. We have to start taking initiatives at individual levels. We believe that human problems can only be identified and solved through human connections. And each one of us has to find our own medium to build that connection. For us, it was spaces. So we set out to transform living and learning spaces of children coming from low-income backgrounds and children at risk into beautiful learning centers and beautiful homes that would give them hope, encouragement, and comfort. Every time I visited a government school, the conditions were disheartening and alarming. Let me tell you a little incident about Anjali, the girl shying away in this picture. Anjali goes to one such school, and one day Anjali was erasing everything off her notebook. When asked why she was doing that, she said because she's got only one notebook and she wants to write tomorrow's lesson. If you go to such school, you will come across 100 such moments that will make you realize how we are failing in bringing equal value and opportunities to this generation. We wanted to fix this. We wanted to fix this starting from their infrastructure. So the first school that we presented our idea of transformation to did not believe in it. They thought it was not needed. They thought it was impractical. But we knew that this idea had the potential to grow and impact. So the first school who believed in what we were trying to do, we initiated the Happy School project. A project aimed at redesigning the schooling experience of children through holistic developmental and infrastructural makeovers using the concept known as building as a learning aid. It's about treating the school infrastructure in a way that enhances visual learning in children, and every built element is used in the teaching learning process. The model was simple. We wanted to encourage school leaders and connect communities and bring them together so that they start taking ownership of the schools and we start bettering things around here. And as we started impacting one school after the other, learning was not confined to classrooms anymore, and writing was not confined to notebooks. We saw teachers get more collaborative, they started engaging more with students. Schools had become more fun and colorful, and it finally had become a place that triggered their imaginations. Let me show you a little video that talks about the impact of this idea, and I'm sure it will leave you with a little smile at the end of it.
जब से हमारे स्कूल में हुआ है, उस दिन से सबसे बड़ा फायदा हमारे स्कूल को यह हुआ है कि बच्चे स्कूल में ज़्यादा आने लगे हैं, प्रेजेंटी उनकी बढ़ गई है, पेरेंट्स भी आके देखते हैं, पेरेंट्स भी बहुत खुश हो गए हैं कि अपने बच्चों को अच्छे वातावरण में पढ़ने के लिए मिल रहा है और उनका ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा 75% कोर्स सिलेबस बच्चों का दीवारों पे ऊपर आ गया। बच्चे अपने आप पढ़ने लगे हैं, उनको टीचर्स लोगों की कम ज़रूरत पड़ रही है।
The happy project.
From a time when no one would believe in this idea, today we are catering this project across the country, partnering with organizations, individuals, government agencies, impacting thousands of children, and hundreds of schools are getting transformed, so that today kids can look towards a brighter future in brighter classrooms. Early childhood is also a critical period when bad housing conditions have profound and sustained impact on individual life chances. While working with children in shelters, we realized that the living conditions of these children were even worse. And we had already experienced how spaces were impacting the lives and personalities of these children. That is when we decided to get into shelter home makeovers. But today, I want to talk about one particular shelter and the journey of how we transformed it into a home. So, the first time when I visited this government-run shelter, I saw a pile of humans sleeping. There were around 30 to 40 girls who had crammed up under one fan in the month of April because only that one was working out of the other 8 in the dormitory. I was just trying to process that, and that is when I saw this mirror. And there was a little girl in front of this mirror who was jumping up and down trying to do her hair. That mirror really reflected the struggles of the lives of the girls living inside it, and that day we gave ourselves a personal goal of making them a comfortable home. This shelter is a home to about 100 girls, and Divyani is the youngest one there. Right now you can see Divyani in her little crawl-in wardrobe, and that little plastic bag is all she has got. This shelter is a home to hundreds such heartbreaking stories. It's a home to girls who don't have families to call their own. It's a home to girls who have been rescued from being trafficked. It's a home to girls who have been victims of sexual abuse and rape, and no one has even crossed the age of 18. And they live in a place that is quite like their lives, dark, broken, and uninspiring. And I'm still the girl looking out of the window, trying to build them a future, looking towards building a brighter future to their otherwise dark past and present. So with an incredible team, we started being the light in the lives of these girls, and we started bringing the light to their home. And as things started getting transformed around this place, we saw some major changes in the personalities of the girls staying here. From a point where they would not interact much with anybody, they would want to run away from the place, they had become more responsible, more compassionate, more involved, and we were trying to build in them the sense of ownership and leadership. And one day something amazing happened. So there was this shelter which was right next to this one, which was a home to mentally challenged women. The girls from this shelter picked up all our stuff, they shifted that to the other shelter, and they ended up brightening up their home. It was so beautiful to watch someone with nothing still finding something to give. And I felt like a proud parent. looking at the transition of these girls from being so naive to being so confident. We had set out to transform their places, but we ended up transforming their lives beyond perception. These girls had become like a family to us, and it inspired how they now chose to lead their lives. We saw how our work opened their world to new possibilities. We saw them being at ease with themselves because they finally found a place where they felt that they belonged. We saw them start caring more about their future. We saw beautiful human connections built where age, race, language did not hold back the love. They say, what good are wings without the courage to fly? But we realized that the lives of these girls were a huge example of courage in itself, and we were just trying to build them the wings that they deserved. Today, when I walk across the hallways of this shelter, I come across such moments. These moments make us realize how our work is not merely what it looks like, but it means so much more. It makes me fall in love with people, their dreams, their scars, and the courage they show to sustain both. To the world, these girls might seem like a million shattered pieces, but to us, they are a breathtaking mosaic of the battles they have won. Today, let me give you a tour of their home, which reflects the lives of the people living inside it, bright, hopeful, and full of love and light.
और हमको बहुत पसंद आया ये जगह और ये इसके लिए हमारी मैत्रेयी और तनुजा लोग ने भी बहुत कुछ किया और उनके बाकी मेंबर्स ने भी बहुत कुछ किया. बाय बाय, थैंक यू.
Happiness lies in people and their moments. You have to learn to find inspiration in those moments, and they might sometimes lead you to breakthrough ideas. That is what being an alchemist really means. You have to see the potential of gold in something basic, and you have to do something, polish it in a way to bring it more worth and more value, and you have to make it shine. I hope you find that gold in people and in places. I hope you be someone for someone else so that they can look forward to a better tomorrow. I hope you be that screaming, breathing, living invitation to believe in better things. Thank you so much.